What if I told you that while the world was watching King Charles honour war veterans at a solemn ceremony, his estranged son Prince Harry was secretly planning his own tribute just miles away? What if I told you that this hidden gesture involving red poppies, a handwritten letter, and memories of Prince Philip reportedly brought the king to tears and offered the first real glimpse of reconciliation we've seen in years? Welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales, everyone. I'm Adrian, and today we're uncovering a story that the palace never announced, the media almost missed, and that could change everything we think we know about the fractured relationship between father and son. Just when it seemed like the chasm between Prince Harry and his father, King Charles, couldn't grow any wider, something extraordinary happened at the National Memorial Arboretum. A secret gesture, a private moment, and a letter that reportedly moved the king to tears. This is the story of how Prince Harry honoured both his late grandfather, Prince Philip, and the forgotten soldiers of World War II, and in doing so sent his father an emotional reminder of who he truly is beneath all the palace drama and media headlines. So grab your tea, settle in, and let's explore this touching tale that's giving royal watchers hope for reconciliation. Picture this scene. It's August 15th, 2025, the 80th anniversary of VJ Day, Victory over Japan Day, marking the end of World War II. King Charles and Queen Camilla have just concluded their official appearance at the National Memorial Arboretum in Staffordshire, honouring the 33 veterans who made the journey to commemorate this solemn anniversary. But after the cameras stopped rolling and the official party departed, something remarkable happened. Prince Harry, accompanied by a trusted friend, quietly arrived at the same memorial site. No fanfare, no photographers, no palace announcement. Harry had come to place a wreath of red poppies and, more significantly, a heartfelt letter at the Burma Star Memorial. This wasn't a publicity stunt or a calculated move for headlines. This was Harry, the former military officer, honouring his grandfather Prince Philip and the so-called Forgotten Army, those brave souls who fought in the brutal Burma campaign during the Pacific War. The secrecy of this gesture is what makes it so powerful. Harry didn't need the world to see this moment. He needed his grandfather's memory to be honoured, and he needed his father to know that beneath all the pain and public disputes, the essence of who Prince Harry truly is, a man of service, a veteran who understands sacrifice, that person is still there. Royal historian Dr. Tessa Dunlop described the anniversary as heavy with emotion, a sombre recall of the cost of conflict 80 years after the end of the Pacific War, beneath the leafy calm of Staffordshire's National Memorial Arboretum. She noted how King Charles assured the veterans they would never be forgotten, but there was someone else who should have been there, someone who was once the royal family's most effective military figurehead. Now, while we don't have the complete contents of Harry's private letter, and honestly, that's as it should be for such a personal gesture, we do know some of what moved Dr. Dunlop to call it thoughtful and deeply meaningful. Harry wrote about the unforgiving terrain that service personnel endured during the Burma campaign. He spoke of years of endurance, far from home, words that take on even deeper meaning when you consider Harry's own situation, living thousands of miles away from his homeland, his family, and the life he once knew. Was this intentional? Was Harry drawing a parallel between his own exile and the sacrifices of those forgotten soldiers? Perhaps. Or maybe he was simply honouring their service as any good military officer would. The beauty of this gesture lies partly in its ambiguity. It can be read as both a tribute to fallen heroes and a subtle reminder of his own sacrifices. But here's what's really significant. Dr. Dunlop observed that Harry's message served to remind king and country of the gaping hole Harry's absence has left in the commemorative circuit. Think about that for a moment. Harry wasn't just honouring the past, he was highlighting what's been lost in the present. For years, Prince Harry was the royal family's secret weapon when it came to military commemorations. His service in Afghanistan, his genuine connection with veterans, his ability to speak their language literally and figuratively, made him irreplaceable in these roles. The Invictus Games weren't just Harry's passion project. They were proof of his unique ability to honour service and sacrifice in a way that resonated globally. And now Now King Charles stands at these memorials without his son by his side. The veterans who once looked forward to Harry's presence, his understanding nod, his shared experiences, they notice his absence too. Here's where this story becomes truly moving. According to sources close to the royal family, when King Charles learned about Harry's secret tribute, both the wreath and the letter, he was reportedly moved to tears. Now, we need to be careful here. Palace sources are notoriously unreliable, and we should always take these emotional claims with a grain of salt. But let's consider the context. King Charles, who held an extraordinarily high regard for his late father, Prince Philip, would understand better than anyone what this gesture meant. Prince Philip was Harry's beloved grandfather, the man who taught him about duty, service, and the weight of royal responsibility. Philip was also the veteran who understood the cost of war, who served with distinction in the Royal Navy during World War II. If anyone would appreciate Harry's tribute to the forgotten army, it would be Philip. For Charles to see his son, his darling boy, honouring Philip's memory in this way, away from the cameras and the drama, must have been profoundly moving. It would have reminded him of the Harry he raised, the Harry who stood vigil at his grandmother's coffin, the Harry who walked behind his mother's hearse with such dignity as a 12-year-old boy. Dr. Dunlop noted that this moment gave King Charles a glimpse of the old Prince Harry. And perhaps that's exactly what Charles needed to see. Not the Harry who gives interviews to Oprah or writes tell-all memoirs, but the Harry who quietly honours his grandfather's memory and the sacrifices of forgotten hero. This raises an important question. Could this private gesture be the beginning of something larger? Are we witnessing the first tentative steps toward reconciliation? Let's step back and examine what this gesture really represents, because I think there are layers here that go far beyond a simple memorial tribute. First, there's the timing. Harry chose to place this tribute after the official ceremony, after Charles and Camilla had left. This wasn't an attempt to upstage or create an awkward encounter. It was respectful, private, and designed to complement rather than compete with the official proceedings. Second, there's the symbolism of the red poppies. These aren't just flowers, they're the universal symbol of remembrance for fallen soldiers, dating back to the famous World War I poem In Flanders Fields. By choosing red poppies, Harry was speaking a language that every veteran, every royal, and every British citizen would understand. But third, and perhaps most importantly, there's what this says about Harry's relationship with his royal identity. Despite everything that's happened, the departure from royal duties, the move to California, the public criticism of the institution, Harry still feels compelled to honour his grandfather's memory and the values Philip instilled in him. This gesture suggests that Harry hasn't completely severed his emotional ties to the royal family or abandoned the principles of service that were drummed into him from childhood. He's still Prince Philip's grandson. He's still a veteran who understands sacrifice. He's still someone who believes certain moments require quiet dignity rather than public spectacle. Dr. Dunlop's observation about the gaping hole Harry's absence has left is particularly poignant. The royal family has struggled to fill the void left by Harry's departure, especially in military and veteran-related events. William tries, but he lacks Harry's military experience. Other working royals participate, but they don't have Harry's natural connection with service members. Could this private tribute be Harry's way of saying, "I'm still here, still honouring the values you taught me, even if I can't be there in person"? As we wrap up today's episode, I'm struck by the complexity of this moment. Here we have a story that simultaneously highlights the depth of the royal family's divisions and offers a glimmer of hope for healing. Harry's secret tribute reminds us that family relationships, even royal ones, are rarely black and white. You can be angry with someone and still love them. You can reject an institution while still honouring the values it taught you. You can live thousands of miles away and still feel compelled to mark important anniversaries in private, meaningful ways. The fact that this gesture reportedly moved King Charles to tears suggests that the door to reconciliation isn't completely closed. Both father and son are grieving Charles for the son who left, Harry for the family relationships that were damaged in his departure. Perhaps this quiet moment of shared respect for Prince Philip's memory could be the first step toward rebuilding what was broken. Of course, one gesture doesn't erase years of hurt and public disagreement. There's still so much work to be done, so many conversations that need to happen away from the media spotlight. But sometimes healing begins with the smallest gestures: a wreath of red poppies, a handwritten letter, a father's tears of recognition that his son's heart is still in the right place. What do you think? Do you see this as a genuine step toward reconciliation, or simply a son honouring his grandfather's memory? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on all things Meghan and Harry. Until next time, this has been Adrian with Meghan and Harry Tales. Thank you for watching, and remember, behind all the headlines and palace intrigue, these are real people dealing with real family pain. Sometimes the most powerful gestures are the ones no camera captures.